Through the use of my research and planning into hip-hop, R&B and rap magazines, I was able to get a clear understanding of the common conventions that appear. From researching into different music magazines, I became aware of the importance of music magazine titles. I focused on these magazines and they really helped me when choosing different titles for my magazine. When deciding, I had to take into consideration colour, size, meaning and length of my title. I looked at popular magazines such as XXL, NME, Vibe, Q, and Kerrang to see how they display their mastheads. I focused on XXL magazine, which has quite a plain masthead using a white sans serif font with a block red highlight, this being positioned at the top left hand corner of their front page. XXL is an abbreviation for extra extra large, which relates to the idea that this music magazine features the biggest hip hop rap artists in the music industry. Also, by keeping their masthead quite simplistic, it creates brand identity, making the audience familiar with the magazine. This contrasts to Kerrang magazine, whose masthead is far from simple, as it uses a black and white sans serif font, which looks as though it's been smashed, shattered, or distorted. This corresponds with the weird elements which the magazine is known for. The titles I considered for my magazine were Notorious, Noise, Underground Unleashed, Vivid, and 305. I then conducted a tally chart to find out which title was most popular amongst my target audience. With the results I received, it was clear Underground Unleashed was the winner as it gained the most votes. I then recorded my results in a bar chart. The words Underground Unleashed relates to the idea of up-and-coming artists being released into the music industry. I use a plain blue serif font for my masthead and position it at the top left hand corner of my front page. This is similar to magazines such as Q and NME. Some magazines choose to place their masthead on top of their featured artists. This is evident with magazines like NME and XXL. Others like Vibe and Kerrang choose to position their models in front of their masthead. This is the approach I have opted for. From researching into different music magazines, I was able to recognise that they use 3 to 4 colours to create a consistent house style. I opted for 4 colours, which were grey, blue, white and black. The use of gradient light blue and dark blue background adds a cool look to my magazine. The colour scheme is also effective as it corresponds with the clothing which my models are wearing. The target audience for my magazines are predominantly ages from 16 to 24. I've made use of colloquial language for my magazine and also other literary devices such as rhetorical questions, which I have found are common in music magazines in holding and engaging the reader's interest. In order to keep a consistent house style, music magazines use similar fonts, colours and design elements. With this in mind, I made use of 4 main fonts called Freshman, Emilio, 19, Rubber Stamp and Rockwell, keeping these fonts the same on my front page, contents page and double spread pages. I also noticed that music magazines keep their models on their front page the same for their contents page and double page spreads. Therefore, I took this approach. When looking at hip hop music magazines, I often see them endeavour to flaunt their wealth through their clothing and also their use for black and white clothing. Keeping this in mind, I have dressed my models in order with this by clothing them in black fur, which I have seen other hip hop and rap artists wear. I have kept their makeup very light as I've seen this is popular with models on hip hop magazines. This, however, contrasted to Roxanne, which use extreme makeup for their models, making them look scary and bizarre, and ultimately relating to the weird nature of the rock genre. I only add lipstick to emphasize my model's lips. The use of lipstick has been proved to be a common trait amongst females in the hip hop genre in order to make them look even more sexy and voluptuous. There are three main shots which are generally used in music magazines, this being close-ups, medium shots and full shots. When planning my magazine, I decided on using a full shot of my model. However, when looking at other magazines, I noticed that they tended to use a medium shot when displaying a duo. Therefore, I used a medium shot. When fabricating my magazine, I used different sized elements. This was effective in showing what was more important than the other. In addition, the most important features on my front page are the cover lines. Successful magazines usually have snappy, interesting cover lines to keep their magazine memorable to the readers. With this in mind, I have tried to keep my cover lines snappy by using big names, for example Beyonce, and also using rhetorical questions. Also, by enlarging the word exclusive and inside, it creates a dominance about my magazine which popular music magazines tend to do. When looking at different music magazines, I became aware that most contents pages usually consist of 3 to 5 columns, and this I kept in mind when creating my contents page. Also, I noticed that contents pages generally have headings and a brief list of different features within the magazine. Under these headings are usually brief descriptions. Page numbers are also usually placed next to the features. The number of pictures used in a contents page may differ depending upon the magazine. I use 2 pictures, which leaves me enough room for all my text. My magazine consists of 66 pages, and because it's a weekly magazine, I have priced it at the price of £2.60p, as I have become aware that weekly magazines are priced more cheaply than monthly ones. Thank you for watching.